This is flip this stitch.
Yes.
And in this segment, what we do is we take a little tricky spot in one of the patterns we're talking about, and we will walk you through it.
Yeah, we'll just slow things down and we'll give you a really close-up view of the underarm grafting, which is one of the last things we're doing on our sweater. Yes. And then we're gonna weave in some ends, and that will be it before you have to give it a bath and a block.
Tracie came up with a really good little tip for this that I'm really excited she shares with everybody, because I didn't have quite the success on my other underarm. So that way she's gonna take over and do my second underarm, so she's able to show you guys.
I'll show you what I did. And I think the thing to take away from this is a pattern is one way to do things. Sometimes there's more than one way to do a certain thing in knitting. Actually, there's always more than one way. This is the part where we're gonna graft or Kitchener stitch our lower underarm stitches with our upper underarm stitches. In the pattern, we actually put these on waste yarn, and now is the time to get rid of that waste yarn and put it back on the needle. Now we have all the live stitches back on our needle. The pattern tells us to graft the top and bottom armpit stitches together. I find that you still get little holes in the corner, and that's totally fine. You can weave in your ends and close those up, no problem. I'm just going to show you an alternate method that I used, and that involves picking up some stitches in the corners, and you'll actually end up grafting a few more stitches than we have on the needle right here. So I'm going to put my needle under the bars of this stitch and pick up and knit 2 stitches. 1. Don't forget to leave a nice tail. 2. Now I'm going to knit across the stitches we had on hold. There. Now at this end, you're also going to see the possibility of a hold. So I'm going to pick up 2 more stitches. If you feel like this is going to be not enough stitches for you, feel free to pick up 1 more. As long as you end up with the same number of stitches on both needles when we graft, you're good to go. There. I'm going to continue around and repeat that process. Now we want to cut a long tail so we can Kitchener those stitches together. When you're Kitchenering, make sure your working yarn is coming off the back needle. I make a lot of socks, so this is like second nature. I love it. Okay, working yarn is coming off the back needle, and we're going to start working our front stitches. Our first one is slip it as if to knit and take it off your needle. And the second one is stick your needle into the second stitch as if to purl, but leave it on. And pull your tail through. Now we're going to go to the back needle. We're going to slip as if to purl, take off that stitch, and the second one we're going to put our needle through as if to knit, but leave it on. Let's do that again. Knit, slip, purl, on. That's our front needle. Back needle, we're going to do purl, slip, knit, and leave that stitch on. That is it for Kitchener. You keep continuing those motions until you have grafted all of the stitches. And as you can see, you're actually weaving a little extra row of knitting in there, and it's invisible. Kitchener is like magic to me. As you can see, this is not an exact science. You kind of fiddle around with where you're going to pick up, but you may still have a hole. I'm just going to have to weave my tail in and fix that. So to weave in this hole, I'm going to do that from the inside of the sweater. And I just put my yarn through, and now I'm going to flip my sweater inside out, and we're going to work on the inside. I'm going to go through the purl bumps with my yarn, these little loops right here. Right across that hole. And a little snug, not too snug, just a little bit. I'm going to pick up another purl bump and go across the hole with another purl bump and just pull it through. like that. And you just do this till you're satisfied with the result. I feel like I need one more. I don't see a hole anymore. Now to weave in our ends. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. They both work great. What we want to do is take our yarn on a tapestry needle and thread it through some of the purl bumps on the back. You don't want this to show on the right side. So I like to go on an angle with my weaving in my ends like that. And I'm going to pick a purl bump and skip a purl bump. Pick a purl bump, skip a purl bump, all on an angle. And pull that through like that. Just with a gentle tension, not too tight, not too loose. Sometimes I like to make a U-turn and come back the other way. Same idea, on an angle, using those purl bumps. Almost invisible.
Great job.
Yeah, see, it's not too hard and it doesn't take long.
It's not difficult, but it's imperative, right?
True,
you take
true.
your time.
Yeah.
Do these finishes and your sweater's gonna look so finished and polished on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we really wanted to show how to weave your ends in. I know they're very simple to do, but I think, doing it right one time, you're never gonna get them popping out of your sweater. This is what we've been waiting for all summer.
The big sweater reveal.
What do you think?
Done.
I'm so excited with this sweater.
I can't even, it's a labor of love.
It is.
Yes.
I'm thrilled with it. It actually fits. I modified the body and the sleeve lengths, and I feel like it turned out great for me. What about you?
So yeah, I did a couple modifications as well. I added about 2.5 inches to the body, and I added almost 3 inches to the sleeve. It was really super easy to do. You just tried it on as you go.
Yeah, and I just love that is one of the big benefits to knitting your own garments. You customize them any way you want, and I love that. I've never knit a bottom-up sweater. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really fun. And I actually thought it was pretty speedy, relaxing knitting. It was the perfect summer project.
Yeah.
And I'm dying to hear what you have to say about knitting your very first sweater.
It's okay.
Take it or leave it. No, tell me, really.
I had so much fun. I think I appreciated that we chose a worsted weight.
Yes.
Because of the sheer, speed of the way it grows. There was a couple spots that we had talked about over the season where I had gotten, not stuck, but I just had to pause for a moment. But at no point was I ever thinking, I'm not gonna finish this.
Absolutely not.
And I'm thrilled about the fit.
Jodi, it looks amazing on you.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I hope everybody else enjoyed knitting their Zadies as much as we did, because it really was. This is something I'm going to wear a lot in the winter.
I love the sweater. I love the fit. I especially love the yarn.
Yes.
I'm thrilled.
I think it was an amazing choice for our first sweater knit along.
Yeah. We would love to see your finished sweaters.
Oh yeah, this is the whole point of a knit along. Us doing it together. We want to see your Zadie sweater. We want to hear about your Zadie experience.
Yeah.
Maybe any parts that you had any trouble with. And if you still are knitting your Zadie and you want a hand with the Kitchener stitch, check out the Craftsy ins and outs of grafting class, which is available for free.
Yeah. And don't forget, use our hashtag on social media. We want to see those pictures of your Zadie.
You betcha. Hashtag off our needles, hashtag knit along.
And anything you want, you can find in the description box below.
Absolutely.
Yeah.